What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to so far the most exciting update video on Liverpool's full takeover process, because yesterday evening a lot of Middle Eastern people on Twitter claimed that Liverpool's takeover by a Qatari investment group is pretty close to being done, and this morning we wake up to news in the 442 newspaper, in the Telegraph and in the Mirror that Liverpool are set for a monstrous takeover bid from a Qatari investment group in February. Liverpool could be about to be in the money with the Qatar group set to bid for Liverpool. That's the headline, and if you are excited about this news, leave a like. Let's get this video to 500 likes if you're app, and subscribe if you're new here so you never miss the latest updates about Liverpool FC. And Qatari journalist Mohammed Saeed Al-Kabi has claimed that Qatar are giving priority to the acquisition of Liverpool Football Club, and they are seriously interested. But the deal is not yet done. It's not completed at this present moment, but we will see in the next few days. That's what he said. The Telegraph also says a February bid is apparently very likely, while according to the Mirror newspaper, FSG want a minimum of £4 billion for Liverpool. But I'm hearing from various sources that Qatari investment group wants to pay £3.2 billion, so I'm sure that they can meet in the middle. I think it makes a lot of sense for FSG to sell the club right now while Liverpool's valuation is at the highest, because once we miss out on the Champions League, and that appears more and more likely each week as Liverpool are continuing to lose games, Liverpool's valuation will drop without Champions League football, without the Champions League TV revenue and the Champions League revenues coming in. So I think it makes sense for FSG to sell Liverpool right now. And recently Newcastle and Chelsea have been taken over by new owners, and they have been splashing the cash, and it looks like Liverpool could be left further behind if the takeover doesn't go through. So I really hope that this news is serious. And actually Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp was asked about his opinion and what he knows, and he said that he talked to FSG recently about the takeover process, and he can tell nothing to the journalists. So there is something brewing under the surface at Liverpool FC. Even Jurgen Klopp knows it, but so far no, he can't tell anything about, of course, to the public, because these takeover talks need to be private, so we don't scare away the potential investors. And I think it's very interesting that 442 published this article actually earlier today, about 2 hours ago, that Liverpool are set for a monstrous takeover bid from Qatar. And there were big polls done yesterday on some official and not so official, but Liverpool fan accounts on Twitter, and basically 95% of the Liverpool fan base want the Qatari new owners to buy Liverpool, and only 5% want FSG to stay. What is the percentage of my viewers? I would love to know. Let me know in the comments below. How many of you guys are against Qatari investment groups buying Liverpool FC? And Anfield League, a pretty big Liverpool account, has said that he had a direct message from somebody who has been privately speaking to Ahmed Al Khalifa, to which he has said the rumors of LFC being sold to Qatar are immature, because the takeover hasn't gone through yet, but there is a huge interest. And he also said that we should keep an eye on somebody called Imran Al-Yashmi, and this person is reliable according to the Anfield League Twitter account. So I don't know how reliable this guy is, or this information is, but I just wanted to tell you guys about it. And I think at this moment, if you are a billionaire wanting to buy a football club, Liverpool is the perfect club to buy, because we already have the stadium pretty much redeveloped to almost its final form. We redeveloped from 45,000 gradually to a 61,000 seater stadium. For example, if you are buying Man United, you need to spend either £1 billion on redeveloping Old Trafford, or £2 billion on building a whole new stadium, which which is matching the capacity of Old Trafford. And I think with Liverpool redeveloping their stadium, like opening a new training ground a few years ago, you don't really have to spend on infrastructure. You have to just spend, I say, just a couple of £100 million on new players, and then you are set for the immediate future. And if you buy Man United, you not just need to buy the football club, but you also need to spend £1 billion on infrastructure minimum, plus 200-300 million on new players as well. So basically that's, and also Liverpool are cheaper than Manchester United at the moment. So if I were a billionaire, I would buy Liverpool ahead of Man United, because Liverpool have the same matching revenue as Manchester United. They have the global fan base, they have everything going for them, really. And what is also very interesting is Gary Neville on Sky Sports last night has claimed that Liverpool have got new owners coming in. He said if Jurgen Klopp can get 250 million from these new owners and he spends it wisely as he has done over the last 7 years, Jurgen Klopp is going to be empowered to transform this Liverpool team. I don't see him thinking this is the end, but what Liverpool haven't done under Jurgen Klopp is rebuild their squad, and that's a big challenge, of course, but I think a challenge that Jurgen Klopp can take head on. And it looks like Gary Neville, because he has been working with Qatar for a few months before the World Cup and during the World Cup, he has been working in Qatar for beIN Sports and also for the World Cup. So he has some personal connections where he might have heard some things already from people. We don't know that yet. It might have been a slip of the tongue of Gary Neville, but it's so many different sources are claiming that there is serious interest from Qatari investors, that I think there is no smoke without fire. So there is something happening behind the scenes, there is something happening under the surface, and too many newspapers are claiming the same thing for this not to be happening. So I'm actually very, very excited, because I think FSG has run its course. They have had a great 12 years in charge of Liverpool. They made huge mistakes, but they also made brilliant decisions. Liverpool have won 7 trophies under FSG, which is absolutely brilliant, but I think it's time for them to sell Liverpool and move on, because they don't have the motivation and the money to reinvest and rebuild this Liverpool squad and reinvest into the Liverpool squad, because I think they are looking at investing into US NBA. They already invested into the NHL. They are maybe looking to invest into the NFL as well. And according to the Mirror newspaper, FSG want to sell Liverpool for around £4 billion, and they want Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs to assist with the deal. The identity and number of prospective buyers are currently unclear. Other reports have thrown Qatari investors' head into the ring. Qatari journalist Saeed Al-Khalibi claims that FSG have given Qatar priority in the battle to buy Liverpool, and they are seriously interested in a takeover. So that's actually very encouraging. We already have Saudi Arabia owning Newcastle. We already have Abu Dhabi owning Manchester City. So Qatar, who are one of the richest countries in the world, if they would own Liverpool, then I think, or Qatari investors would own Liverpool, I think that would be a very interesting rivalry between these clubs. And the Premier League football, once it let in billionaires, I think all moral high ground and all the moral compass has gone out the window. The Premier League care nothing but for the profit and the great image of the game. And I think once you let Man City be taken over by a country, the Premier League is basically gone. And if Liverpool want to compete, we need to have rich owners. There is just no other way. That's what modern football is. And Liverpool, even though it has a socialist core fan base and Liverpool is a socialist city, the football club itself is so far gone into the capitalist world that you can't retain all the socialist values while competing at the top of English and European football. That's the sad reality and the harsh truth of it. And I won't be too happy if we get Middle Eastern owners. If it's a country, then I will be totally against it. If it's an investment group, that's much better. But still, these countries have questionable human rights problems, questionable human rights issues. So I want Liverpool to be owned by, of course, people who care about Liverpool Football Club's values and the values of the city, but that's a pipe dream in today's modern world and modern capitalist society. I think because Liverpool's valuation is around 3.5-4 billion pounds, only the richest billionaires can afford Liverpool Football Club, and all of them got their wealth through exploiting people one way or the other. So there are no clean billionaires. That's a pipe dream. Even FSG are not clean themselves. Liverpool's main sponsors, Nike and Standard Chartered, are not clean themselves as companies either. But of course it's better than being state-owned like Newcastle or Manchester City. So let's see what it brings. I just wanted to say my opinion on it. And probably two of the biggest reasons why FSG want to sell Liverpool is that the collapse of the Super League, which they wanted to happen, and also the sale of Chelsea. It put the valuation of an English football club in the Premier League very, very high. Chelsea sold for 2.5 billion pounds, so they see Liverpool selling for even more. And they want to cash in because a recession is coming, and also they have great investment opportunities in the USA, which I already talked about many times on this channel. And finally, some injury update before our big game, FA Cup replay against Wolves tomorrow. If we don't win that game, we are out of the FA Cup. So Liverpool need to change their fortunes massively. And he said that there is progress with all the injured players. Darwin Núñez is very close. It's Monday and the game is tomorrow, but he's very close. So I expect Darwin Núñez to start against Wolves, because without him we looked utterly toothless and lost in attack. Milner and Stefan Bajcetic are in full training. Milner was on the bench against Brighton, and Bajcetic is available now, so that's a plus. But we will go as strong as we can, and we need fresh legs, so we will need changes, and I especially want the midfield changed. I want Naby Keita to start. I want Henderson out of the starting 11. That's my opinion. Jurgen Klopp said we want to win the game, but we obviously now need fresh legs. The easy thing is for me to sit here and tell the boys pretty much with the game at Brighton, you put us in this situation, so let's have a look how you can get us out of that situation. But that would mean I'm out of responsibility, and I just can't. We have to make decisions about the lineup, and we will make changes. That's clear. 3 days after the last game, I think that absolutely makes sense, and we will go from there. And not just because the last game was 3 days ago, but literally almost every player was atrocious, apart from maybe Thiago, Konate. Those were the two players that I can think of who played pretty okay. The others were absolutely shocking, terrible. So if Liverpool made 9 or 10 changes, I wouldn't be too surprised, but I don't think we will make that kind of big changes. But maybe 3-4 changes, I can see that happening, and hopefully we can go with the Núñez, Salah, Gakpo front line. Gakpo, I want to see him on the left wing, and hopefully Núñez and Gakpo with their pace can terrorize Wolves defense. And also we need Salah to come a little bit inside, so I want either Naby Keita or to Harvey Elliott to play on the right centre midfield spot, and they can go on the wing, so Salah can come a little bit closer to goal, because on the wing Salah is so isolated. We need him closer to the goal, we need him a little bit inside where he can actually hurt teams. Salah is a brilliant finisher, but he doesn't have that incredible relentless pace that Salah had in his prime, so he needs to be closer to goals so he can score goals, get assists, and affect the game much more than when he's isolated on the wing. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what is yours. I would love to hear it. And Liverpool have to show massive improvement, because you can't just blame injuries and the lack of funding in the transfer market for Liverpool's demise, because Alisson, Trent, Andy Robertson, Matip, Konate, Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson, Mo Salah, these are 9 established, professional, world-class players. And the other 2 are exciting players like Cody Gakpo and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who is also a pretty established player himself. Cody Gakpo is the exciting new signing, I meant to say. These were the players that showed up against Brighton and delivered that absolutely shocking performance. So they need to take accountability, but also Jurgen Klopp needs to take accountability and take responsibility for, and he has taken responsibility for this display. He said that that's all on him for not setting the team up better tactically, because these players can't run, can't press, can't play that high line anymore. So we need either tactical changes or we need personal changes, but I would prefer both. I would prefer a change of system, a change of formation, and also a change of personnel. And I was very vocal about Henderson. I want him out of the team, but Jurgen Klopp maybe is too loyal to these players. But hopefully the Brighton and Brentford defeats showed him he can't count on these players anymore. He can't rely on these players anymore. And he not just he needs to buy new players, and he made a dig against the owners as well in his pre-Brighton press conference. He was very angry that he was snapping at a journalist. What do you want me to do? I can't buy players. FSG basically are not giving me money. That's what Jurgen Klopp was saying. Not verbatim out loud, but that's what he meant when he was pretty angry about the money issue, the money question. So it's pretty clear that Jurgen Klopp's hands are tied behind his back, but he also should help this Liverpool team by tweaking the tactics and helping the Liverpool players play with a system that gets the best out of them a little bit more. But that's up to the players and Jurgen Klopp to figure out, and it will be very interesting how the second half of the season goes for Liverpool, because Liverpool have to improve massively, otherwise we won't even finish in the European place. But 5th place is even very close after Tottenham lost to Arsenal. And by the way, Arsenal, what a run they are on, and I really hope they keep going and win the Premier League title, because it would be such a fresh new look for the Premier League. Arsenal as champions, Arteta, a new young manager. Even though I don't particularly like Arsenal, I like them much better than I like Man City or Chelsea or Man United. So I want Arsenal to win the Premier League title. If I had to choose, I think Man City and Man United maybe are in the title race. Man United outsiders a little bit, but Arsenal are definitely, it's theirs to lose at the moment. But I really hope that they can keep this run going, because they play lovely football. They have very likable young players and also a great manager, and their fan base has been starved of success for so long as well. And we Liverpool fans know what it feels like. So good luck to Arsenal, that's all I'm gonna say. And that's all for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, see you later, goodbye.